Your new album is called Reliever, and it's named after a song on the album. Tell me about the song. What's the song about? Who's your reliever?
The title track, Reliever, really set the intention again for the whole album itself. It was kind of made in the middle. I think I had part of what I imagined to be the first half of the collection, the story. And then I was working ahead, thinking of when I do eventually find myself in a place where I'm more past these things that have caused me any kind of grief or pain, you know, your father's passing and the separation, all these things that I wanted to advance the plot away from. I had those kind of pegged as well. And I was like, what am I really trying to say with all these songs? What am I hoping to accomplish? And like, really the common theme was trying to relieve some kind of ailment, sickness of the mind, falling inward into yourself and believing things. And even though all this great stuff is happening around you, the struggle is the day-to-day living with yourself, and those we love the most kind of see our ugliest sides. Between my mom and dad, it wasn't always perfect. I'm learning that now in his death in my adulthood. A lot of struggle in the background that you didn't want your children to see. And on one day or the other, they would step in for each other. Oh, it's my dad would break in front of us, and my mom would pick him up and say, I'm here for you today. Though you feel like a failure, you know, let me take over. So you can paint that the same way as the relief pitcher, you know, the baseball concept. The greatest pitchers in the world throw 6 or 7 innings before they're assisted, someone walking in from the mound, taking over and finish out the last few innings. That's how the day-to-day can be with somebody that you care for. I think that's who gathers at the show. I think that's who comes to listen to this stuff, who finds it a part of their life. Man, you got to keep going. Even though these things happen to you, that's the part worth celebrating and thinking about is getting through those things with the help of a reliever, whatever that is. A person that you love, a place, it could be a drive. I know for a fact that driving and travel and just kind of displacing myself for a moment in an environment where I'm forced to concentrate on the one thing and slow things down for a second, that heals me all the time. I guess it ties back to my aspirations for medicine. You know, the pain relievers absorbed like these pills in a way, the songs, and how each can serve in the world, hopefully, and help a number of people, like a broad antibiotic of sorts. I was in need of a lot of healing at the time that I was writing these and living these songs, and Reliever is definitely built around those ideas. So ultimately, it tied the two halves of the record, almost A and B side in a way, where they were in my mind. Like there was a line down the middle of my mind, and on one side was real-time pain reflection, and the other side was a hopeful getting over it and healing side. Because I didn't want to just create 50, 60 songs of how awful life is, you know, because it's really not. By being a more hopeful, I guess, healthier version of myself, I ultimately serve those I love a lot better.
You mentioned your interest in medicine, but people listening might not know about that part of your story. Can you just tell us about that and about how it relates to the new album?
Reliever was painted too around my aspirations for medicine at one time in my life. I went to university in hopes of going into med school and becoming a GP, a family doctor, because you could go to various reserves and you could work and kind of get isolation pay and different things like that. I thought this would be the quickest way to build a respectable fortune, to start living some kind of life, you know, get your house and have this kind of thing. That's what success is in the world. I did really well in high school and had the great shift when I came to university and realized, okay, I was excelling in this one place, but now I'm here with a lot of great minds who are very serious. They want to be doctors as much as I would really like to be a singer-songwriter someday, you know? That saying of, I wanted to be a boxer until I met somebody that really wanted to be a boxer. But I was always writing music. I was always focusing on that. And I didn't do very well, to be honest. It was fun to say. The worst thing you can say that annoys brilliant people is, I'm pre-med. That's like, no, you're not. You're surviving in the sciences. You're trying your best to get through the weed out courses, first year biology. That'll get you into round 2 where, eventually gets more specific. And I decided to go the path of microbiology. I thought a 4-year concentrated degree in microbiology would look more impressive than a general science degree when writing your MCAT and ultimately applying to med school. So that was the plan. If I become a doctor and have a big paycheck, I'll be able to pay for all the problems in my family's life. So the concept of relief was born so early. I've forever been chasing the title of. Truthfully, I didn't deserve to call myself pre-med. I didn't deserve to walk around saying I was a successful science student. It feels like everyone around you's a genius, and you just swim in insecurity. There's even more eyes on me too, because I'm First Nations coming from a reserve, and what are you even doing here? It's
Really?
Not from them, from me,
okay.
Internally. And my sister and mom are right in the heart of it, trying to keep it all contained because the golden boy is going to become a doctor and fix everything. And that's the pressure I had all the time. So it was painful. Even though all these things are going on, even though I'm kind of walking a road I don't love, I'm failing at it. I'm not proud of it, I don't think. Still looking pretty good on the outside, though. From Pegwis, one of our best graduates, doing really well, University of Manitoba Science. Reporting back to my academic advisors and saying, just give me more time, I'm just coming into my own, a couple bad innings before they send you down back to the minors kind of thing. And my dad's getting over the first bit of trauma and all those things, and my plan can still be fixed here, and I just didn't have my heart in it. And I probably waltzed across the finish line with less than a 2.0 GPA by the time the next 2 years took their toll, and I qualified for a science degree. Finished out that way. And then I took some time for the first time, and I started to write songs. Started to try to put songs in a more serious category. That's the beautiful part of all this, is how eventually I made my way to this place where I am able to relieve those I love in some way.
Your original plan for your life, your path, you wanted to be a rural doctor and travel around to different remote places, First Nations reserves, and help people. And I can't help but make this comparison to being a musician. And well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you travel around not just Manitoba, but the world, and you bring yourself, and you bring your songs.
Traveling doctor.
And you bring your voice. I mean, has it really not occurred to you?
Showing up, yeah, I guess. A service of sorts to help people. That is interesting. I wanted to, take a post somewhere, and if you do become one of those doctors that travels community to community and doing clinics, they say, I have a friend or two that does the kind of fly-in clinic for a week and help out the communities and stuff. So yeah, ties together. Some kind of healing going on my whole life here in a way. So I guess it's really just being talked about in this particular record. The fascination I genuinely had at one point in my life with health and why we live, why we die, why we feel, why all these things, And these are the themes that I address now in the record. So the way I was studying the human body, gathering that knowledge, I think I'm doing that for souls now, for life, for how human beings really work. I'm William Prince, and you've been listening to The Sunday Verse. Thank you for tuning in. This is the title track from my new album, Reliever.
Moreover than on, reckon the view that we have. No keys in your hand to the house that I swore I'd build by now. And the things that get you worried start making you louder. I'm in no hurry, I'll calm you down. So tell me, are you trying to live to beat the over-under? Does it even matter who wins? Tell me everything that you got riding on the inning just before it ends, and I'll be your reliever. I'll be your reliever. The truth gets louder and louder, the echo gets further away. Something here to be proud of. Pride always gets in the way. 'Cause you're foolish, you go right on after the thing that heals the ache. I don't blame you for always making the same mistake. So tell me, are you trying to live to beat the over-under? Does it even matter who wins? Tell me everything that you got riding on the inning just before it ends, and I'll be your reliever. I'll be your reliever. So tell me, are you trying to live to beat the over-under? Does it even matter who wins? Tell me everything that you got riding on the inning just before it ends, and I'll be your reliever. I'll be your reliever. I'll be your